Lynn Herrick. I'm the Director of Marketing here at SOS Online Backup. I am joined by John Wagner, our Chief Sales Engineer.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
While we wait for everybody to get online, I am going to put a quick survey up on the screen. And also, if you could, please find the questions tool and let me know if you can hear me okay and see my screen. So if you are seeing my screen, then you are seeing the survey. Now we'll wait here for just a minute while those answers roll in. And if I can get confirmation on audio and visual, that'd be fantastic.
Muted.
Okay, I am going to close the poll and we'll go ahead and get started with the presentation. I haven't received any audio-visual confirmation, so I do just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. If you could please find the questions tool and type in confirmation that yes, you can hear me and you can see my screen, we will get started. Hines says yes. Okay. David says yes. Okay, great. Everybody can hear me and see my screen. Fantastic. Okay. So this webinar is going to cover the SOS 360-degree partner program as well as the SOS Server Save product. This webinar is focused on managed service providers and their customers. Typically what we find is that managed service providers are catering to customers with like medical practices, CPA firms, legal firms, etc. I'd love to know who your clients are. So if you could please type it in the questions tool, who the types of clients are that you're typically serving, that'll really help us in the presentation. We're going to review the features of the SOS 360-degree partner program. We're going to review a little bit about the industry and SOS Online Backup and how we fit into it, and what competitive advantage you'll gain by partnering with us. And then finally, we will get into a demo hosted by our Chief Sales Engineer, John Wagner, that will review SQL backup, SharePoint backup, our tools for Windows Server backup, and most importantly, Exchange granular recovery. Sean says he has some VMware customers. David says small and medium enterprises, home users. Okay, cool. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the industry. What is going on? How prevalent is online backup for small to medium-sized businesses, and how is it looking to be growing worldwide? Well, it's looking to grow a great deal, particularly in the next 2 years. Online backup is still in what we would call the early adopter phase. It has not yet reached the early majority, and that would be classified by 50 to 75% of businesses having used or adopted online backup, and that just isn't the case. Today, only 16% of companies surveyed by the IDC, which is a massive research analyst firm, have confirmed that they are using online backup. That's only 16%, so not a lot, right? 69% are evaluating it and or planning to use it. That's great news for you guys. That means that there are 69% of businesses out there that are looking to adopt online backup, and you have a prime opportunity to offer something that your competitors are not offering, which is a robust industrial online backup solution. So why is this happening? On a macroeconomic level, why are we seeing more businesses eager to opt for online backup as opposed to maybe, say, tape? Well, expansion of internet bandwidth is a big one. Depending on which area you're in, you probably have seen drastic decreases in the cost of internet bandwidth as well as the speed. And the good news there is that SOS does not throttle your speed. You're allowed to go as fast as any of your upload speeds from your ISPs allow. The second item is decrease in hostage storage costs. Storage has become cheaper. Storage is prevalent. Remember when you used to have to pay money for those little flash storage drives? Well, you certainly don't anymore. Everybody just gives them away. Now, that's not to say the same about cloud storage space. It requires a lot of security, encryption, and management, but it is becoming less and less expensive, and it has reached the point that it is as costly, and I should say like as inexpensive as tape, and more reliable, more robust, much more secure, much more safe, of course, because it's in the cloud. The third item propelling this adoption is technical sophistication of the population. If you had asked anybody 12 months ago if they knew what the cloud was, they would have thought it was quite unsure about what it is. I'm sorry, if we have any staff on the line, could they please mute? Thank you. Okay, great. Sorry about that, everyone. Again, any staff on the line, please mute. Thanks. Okay. Okay, so technical sophistication of the population is another growth adopter. When everyone universally kind of understands what something is, like the cloud, they're much more likely to adopt it, and we can frankly thank all of our competitors for allowing this to happen. We can thank pieces of research like this IDC piece down in the bottom right-hand corner here for acknowledging that there is a huge amount of adoption ready, willing, and able to occur, and it is occurring. Finally, the size and value of all of our digital data. Individuals and companies alike are generating loads of digital data, much more so than they ever were before, because they have more opportunities to do so. They have mobile phones, they have laptops, they have workstations. I, in my home, have all three. And you probably do as well. So just imagine your businesses. And you probably know your businesses that you're backing up have multiple laptops, multiple workstations. And apparently from your poll results, multiple servers to back up. We definitely encourage you guys to ask questions during these webinars. In fact, if you want to be answered in the drawing for the Kindle, you do need to ask a question. So please ask questions in the question tool. John and I are here more than happy to answer them for you. They can be about the industry, about the product, or how the product applies to your business. So as I mentioned when we were discussing the last slide, there is a price functionality inflection point approaching in between tape backup and online backup. They're soon going to, or already have, depending on what you're buying and where you are, have converged. Online backup is now the same price or less expensive as tape backup and more reliable and more secure. Products like SOS Online Backup allow you to encrypt at 3 levels locally, in transit, and at rest in the data center. So you have all that security and, of course, knowing that your data is encrypted in the cloud in secure SOS data centers. And we will talk more about the geographic locations of those data centers. So what are SMBs looking for? Many of you have mentioned that your client base is small to medium businesses, small to medium enterprises, and home users. Well, what are those businesses looking for? Obviously, those are your huge opportunities because there's more people, there are more devices to back up, and hopefully more servers. Well, businesses are looking for complete business data protection. They're looking for coverage of workstations, servers, laptops, and mobile devices. And how many of you, if you could just tell me quickly, I'd love to know, how many of you have backed up your clients using multiple software, multiple backup software platforms previously? Usually what we hear is that MSPs are using 3 to different software to back up their clients' complete businesses. And that's a bit cumbersome, isn't it? SOS Server Save allows you to back up an entire business with just one platform. It allows you to do bare metal backup, endpoint protection, so laptops and workstations, as well as mobile backup, and use centralized management along the process. So as you can see here from the chart, that's the huge wave of adoption that we're looking for, especially not necessarily just peaking, but you can see that the most growth potential is within the next 2 years, between 2012 and 2014, and of course beyond. Like, I would be hard-pressed to believe that those 69% of businesses we just talked about had completely backed up online backup by 2014. So what about the SOS 360-degree partner program? What are we? Hi, another quick question. Can SOS make an image on the hard drive? We can do backups locally. Oh, I'm sorry, of a hard drive. Okay. Yes. Yes, we can. You will see a demo of that software later on in this presentation. The SOS 360-degree partner program. We like to tell that this is a business in a box for managed service providers. You can start selling in about 3 weeks. So what does this entail? We give you a web presence if you don't have one already, which is obviously key to selling passively as well as actively. When I say selling passively, I mean being able to sell online without need for your own personal time and intervention. You could just be selling gigs of online backup on your website template, just at midnight while you're sleeping. You could have customers on there going and reloading what they needed to back up their laptops, if you've already installed software there. This includes integrated billing, and we'll go over what our billing platforms are, our merchant gateways that we are integrated with. You can update the content on this website template. We allow you to customize with your own text, colors, and your logo, but you're able to update your content and your metadata if you like to. And it requires no real formal HTML training. It's a WYSIWYG editor. It's like working in Word. It's really, really simple. And you'll see a little bit about how that works later on as well. And of course, you get SOS Online Backup award-winning software. You'll see our awards later on in the presentation, but I'll just tell you now because we're certainly not shy about it. We've won PC Magazine's Editor's Choice Award for 4 years, which is pretty exciting. So you can rest assured that you are providing your customers very high-quality software. This is also really important. There's no hardware purchase required. A lot of our competitors provide boxes for you, which you have to buy for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, or maybe even more, and that's kind of like your buy-in to the program. We don't make you do that. We certainly offer you discounts for purchasing annual plans up front, but we also allow you to pay monthly if that's of interest to you. We offer weekly live trainings. These trainings go over sales success, they go over technical and administrative questions, and they are hosted live by our partner team. We offer you sales and marketing materials that can be rebranded, and they're just in Word documents. They're very simple. You can paste your logo on there, you can change your colors, and you can do whatever you like, but the content is there for you. So how many of you have looked into managed service provider or reseller partner programs other than SOS? Here's a little information in case you haven't about some other partner programs out there: Intronis, Doyens, Asigra, and XZ. One big differentiator in those between SOS and these other guys is the data center location. SOS has data centers in the UK, US, Canada, Australia, India, and Ukraine. I know for a lot of you on the line, those locations are going to be super important. You can specify which location you want your data to back up to. Just let your partner specialist know. And also, that's really important. If you don't know who your partner specialist is, please type in the questions tool and let me know. and we will certainly find out for you after the demo. So price is also a major differentiator, as well as purchasing hardware. Like I mentioned, SOS does not force you to purchase hardware. Some of our competitors do. When you're investigating these plans, you'll definitely notice startup fees and additional fees being prevalent. And you may not know exactly what you're buying or exactly how much it's going to cost. With SOS, it's very, very clear. We'll go over a pricing slide later. In that pricing slide, we'll also include what your margin opportunity is. As far as features between SOS and our competitors, frankly, all of the server backup is there, Exchange backup, SQL backup, Windows backup, but you do, when you're shopping, want to make sure that all of these backup solutions are available in one single program, because you don't want to be backing up with multiple programs for a single client. It can definitely cause some confusion, concerns, and it's just not easy for you. Your time is valuable, and you want to make your backups for your clients as easy as possible. Are there any questions on the SOS 363 Partner Program? Do we have some other questions here? Time says, do you have a fixed rate per gigabyte for South Africa? Time, your rate per gigabyte is based on how much you buy and also which data center you want to back up to. So you'll be able to do an ROI analysis with all that specific information with your partner specialist. But the more that you buy, certainly decreases your overall cost. David asked, can we do bare metal restore with SOS? Of course you can, and also you can restore dissimilar hardware, which is very handy. Derek asked, what are startup costs? Do you need to pay for 1 month up front? And Derek, yes. Our most cost-effective plan does break down to 11 cents per gigabyte per month. Michael asked, do you have the exchange rate for the UK? I'm sorry, Michael, I don't have that up in front of me right now, but all of the costs are in US dollars. So if your exchange rate is favorable right now, it's definitely a good time to buy. The SOS Online Backup product suite is one of the most comprehensive in the market. For partners, you have access to our system data backup product, which is SOS Server Save, and our app data backup product, as well as mobile backup and file data backup products. Of course, file data backup is and desktop backup is our bread and butter. That's where we've won our PC Magazine Editor's Choice Award. So this will allow you to back up documents, images, emails, and file servers to the cloud and then restore them easily. SOS Server Save will allow you to back up system data, app data, and app data includes SQL Server data, Exchange, SharePoint, and hopefully more in the near future. So I keep mentioning SOS Server Save, so what is this thing and what are all the pieces that come with it? First of all, Exchange backup and granular recovery. We certainly find this to be a very, very popular feature, and you probably will as well. Most of your clients probably have an Exchange server, especially if they're running a business out of a single location. Bare Metal Image Creator. This allows you to make bare metal images and send them up to the cloud. You can make bare metal images of Exchange, Windows servers, SQL servers, SharePoint servers, and file servers. You can control these backups and manage them and send them to the cloud in one location, which you'll see later on, and it's super handy. Online Backup and Recovery Manager is the actual tool that sends the bare metal images up into the cloud, and so it is specially coded, configured, designed to send very, very large images up to the cloud. Workstation backup. This is for your endpoint protection. This is backup and recovery for laptops, workstations, file servers, files, and folders. Premier Web Integration. This is the website template that I spoke about earlier. It's a bit of the program that we decided to completely include in SOS Server Save back in November. And it includes billing management, merchant accounts, and more. In fact, you can even send email programs. You can create email programs and send emails to all of your customers, giving them updates about things that you're offering, maybe special offers you have, through the Premier Web Integration package. And mobile. We do have generic clients available for iPhone, and we will have one for Android soon. So if any of you are still left wondering how SOS ServerSafe compares to other competitors that maybe your customers have heard more about, like Carbonite or Mozy, it's totally in a class by itself. Carbonite and Mozy, especially their home products, namely their home products, which are less expensive, of course, because they're home products, are not doing server backup. They're not doing mobile backup. Those are all separate products. They don't have centralized management, deployment, and reporting, or at least they're not as good at it. So what does SOS ServerSafe compete with? We completely rival a different breed of competitor. Zenith, Intronus, and Evil are maybe some competitors that you've heard of. Where SOS ServerSafe really stands out is in the additional features that are available with the program, and that's in unlimited file versioning, unlimited file archiving, mobile access, free mobile apps, the ability to back up 5,000 seats per account for endpoint protection as opposed to having to pay per license for endpoint protection. We only make you pay per license for server licenses, not for workstation licenses. Jody has a question. Can you back up Linux systems? If so, how does it work? Jody, I'm quite sorry. We do not back up Linux systems at the moment, but please look for that towards the end of this year, beginning of next year. Please do keep the questions coming in. We do offer a Kindle to users, or to attendees, I'm sorry, that ask a question, so please get yourself in the drawing. Okay. We recently released a couple of additions to SOS ServerSafe, which is namely in its flexibility and speed. We'll continue releasing updates, and as you signed up as a partner in the program, you will get automatic updates with the software, and you can easily update when necessary. This slide's just in here because we're really, really proud parents. We're proud of our PC Magazine Editor's Choice Awards, and we have won 4 of them. So the competitive landscape. So if many of you have been using maybe an affiliate type program like Carbonite or Mozy or even CrashPlan, then you're pretty limited to selling in here, file and folder online backup. It's a very, very crowded space. Now it's becoming even more crowded with sync tools, which really, truly are not backup, but are often confused for it. So why do we want to play in there? Well, we don't want to limit ourselves to playing there. We want to live in a different playground. This is our new playground. With SOS ServerSafe, you're allowed to compete across micro businesses, SMBs, enterprises with laptops and workstations, and larger SMBs and enterprises with servers. Very few of our competitors actually comprehensively back up all of these items, bare metal local, bare metal cloud, SQL backup, Exchange backup, file and folder backup, and mobile successfully with a single program. We have a couple questions coming in. Derek says, is the mobile client white label as well, i.e. can my brand be put on the Android and iOS app? Derek, no, it is generic. Matsebe says, I lost connection and missed some of the slides earlier presented. Don't worry, you can get this presentation from your partner specialist, and you can also get it emailed to you afterwards. That will be automatically done. Bonga asks, doesn't SOS reduce the PC's performance? If not, how have you dealt with that?
The software application itself, I don't know if you're referring to maybe a previous version that we had or something you've used, but we re-engineered our online backup software started back in November, where we have much more efficiency. We have 40% faster backups because we changed the way we back up files. We used to copy, maybe 1,000 files to your local hard drive first on a temp folder. Then we would compress, encrypt, and then zip, and then upload that. But we took all that out of the steps of online backup. And what we do is each file we actually stream it to the cloud, and so we actually push up about 10 megabytes at a time. And when we're doing that, we're compressing and encrypting as we're streaming to the cloud. This is where we get that 40% gain. So when you're skipping all that copy and compression encryption stuff on your local machine, you basically regain all the resources back. So to answer the question, no, there's no performance issues while the backup is running. You can have it run during the day, every hour, every 2 hours, whatever, and it won't degrade your system.
Mark has a question. Does SOS work directly with end users or only through partner network? We work directly with end users. However, most of our employees are dedicated to working through our partner program. Most of our employees, as well as most of our revenue, is from the partner program. So it's a huge focus of our business and will remain to be. All right, here's the really exciting part. Let's talk about pricing. Please keep in mind that these are in U.S. dollars, and you will buy in U.S. dollars. So if you have an advantage based on your exchange rate right now, then it's probably a pretty good time to buy. Like particularly if you're in the UK, it's probably a pretty good time to buy. So our SOS ServerSafe program comes in 4 main packages, and you're of course welcome to make them larger than this if you'd like to. Most of our partners enter at SOS ServerSafe 5. So this means that you get 5 server licenses to utilize however you like. So if I have 2 Exchange servers and 3 SQL servers, then SOS ServerSafe would be SOS ServerSafe 5 would be perfect for me because I can use them however I like. And with that comes 1 terabyte of space. That comes with the monthly price of $399. Or, of course, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to purchase annually, you can get a discount of up to 2 months. We recommend selling each server backup with approximately 200 gigabytes of space for $129 a month. If you did this on all server licenses in your SOS ServerSafe 5 package, you would make $246 a month. That's not bad, right? Especially because it's recurring revenue. Now, of course, there are quantity discounts with the more that you buy, so your monthly margin per package goes up with the more that you buy. If you're an SOS ServerSafe 25 MSP, you could be making $2,300 US per month, recurring revenue. Are there any questions here? Your partner specialist will absolutely go over this with you, and they'll also do an ROI analysis taking into account your customers, your workstations, what you want to price the solution at. This is our suggested resale price. Many of our MSPs sell for 3 times this amount and completely have no problem competing in the marketplace. Bonga asks, can I deploy it from the server to workstations or workstation to workstation?
The with ServerSafe, it's multiple applications. We have a local backup software that's basically backing up your server as an image or workstation as an image. And then we have our online backup recovery manager, separate piece of software to do folder and file backup on servers and workstations. And then we have our Exchange General Recovery. So of those 3 applications, the local backup as an image application does have a deployment tool that's actually built in to the software. So that same deployment tool also has centralized management and monitoring. So you'd be able to do that, yes.
Are there any other questions about pricing? Our VP of Sales, Jeff McCauley, whom you may have spoken to before, just joined us.
Good afternoon, everybody.
So if you have any questions about the program, how to get in, he is the right guy to ask. So you've got the Director of Marketing, the Chief Sales Engineer, and the VP of Sales all in one room, ready and happy to answer your questions. So please ask away. And remember that you do need to ask a question in order to enter the drawing for Kindle. If there aren't any more questions at the moment, then we'll go ahead and jump right into the demo.
Okay.
So please bear with us for just a moment while we queue up the demo, and then we'll be right back with you.
Okay, so you all should be seeing the SOS Partner Dashboard now. And if you can't see it, please just use the chat or questions to tell us that. So the Partner Dashboard is also a new product for us. Some of you haven't seen it before. This is a central location. It's a website you can use from basically anywhere to access your Partner Dashboard. You'll notice here you always have news and updates. It's very important. People always want updates of what's going on. Typically, you don't really hear from your from your third-party vendors or from your distributors about what's going on in the space or things we've changed. You can see here, we have a new partner support hotline. That's only been live for about a month or so, and our partners really love that. You can see here we have an update that 5.22 is out. That was a big release, lots of new features, and we just like to keep you informed. And there also is an email subscription there you can sign up for, and RSS feeds. In this dashboard, you'll be able to create your user accounts. You'll be able to sign licenses to your accounts if you want to. So that would mean you might have some customers that are going to be online backup only, and you have some customers that are going to be online backup with local backup as an image, and they're going to have Exchange granular recovery. And over here on the right, we have our central monitoring portal that lets you basically monitor all of your online backups that are happening across all of our customers. With the system, you're able to have one username back up multiple computers, obviously, so one customer, one username, back up multiple machines. And I know you see the red here failed, and it might look bad to you, but that's actually probably going to be your best friend, because I know when I was doing consulting, we wanted to see the errors first, and that's why we did that. So you see red lights first, and then you're going to see orange lights, and then on the next page here, we're going to have some green, showing completed. So basically the summary of that is that you might have a red light here where you have a failed backup. You might have a backup that completed successfully the last time, but you haven't had a backup that's ran lately or in the last week. And then you can see things like that there. So this is something that our partners have always been asking for, one pane of glass to see backup status. I'm sorry, let me just log back in again. Okay. So with here, the first thing you would do is you want to create an account, and we give you the ability to do that. It's all web-based. You'd fill out this form. You would choose the backup account size you want for your customer, and then you'd be able to start, basically backing up online. Or if you needed to, you'd be able to go and assign a license to a username like we've done here. And then I get my license key for my image-based backup or my Exchange granular recovery. And how we actually get that deployed to a customer is you download this SOS Server Backup Client, which I'm going to show you right now. And so you see here we have this ServerSafe icon here. This is a little executable that you just run. It doesn't need to actually be installed. And when I run that, I want to log in with that user account that I just created. And this ServerSafe executable here, I call this the ServerSafe installer, because I only use this actually to install and license my products. I see here I got an update. We have auto update in this, which is nice. So whenever there's a new update in there, we have better software, better version. And let me log in here. We also have auto update in our online backup software. So you wouldn't need to actually log into ServerSafe here to get an update for the online backup. You will get a balloon pop up in the bottom right-hand corner saying, "Hey, we have a new version. Click here and install it if you want to." Now, auto update it's really auto notification. We don't want to automatically update the software because we could possibly break your backups, and no backup software does that. They auto update in the middle of a backup or do it for you, because you don't want to basically break something that's not broken, or if it's not broken, don't fix it. And so we have here where we can install on the Backup Recovery Manager. It's already installed, as you can see. You would click on that, you would download, install. Same as other programs here. I click on this, and I'll be able to download. Once it's done, I would click Install App. Here's my license details. People would say, "Hey, where are my license keys?" Well, they're right there. So you would copy that, and you'd enter it inside the software when you open it. EGR is a little different. It has a license file. You'd want to save that to the installation directory after you install it. And I suggest calling it like license file 2 because it already has one called license.ini, and that helps a lot. And then we have Workstation Backup here. This is being phased out. It's just basically an older version of our software. Some of our partners are still using it, so we're leaving it in there for maybe another month or so, but then it'll go down to 3 icons. So I already have all these applications installed, so I'm actually going to close this. If you have any questions, regarding the demo, please go ahead and write it down or ask your partner specialist. The demo is designed to go kind of as a quick overview because everyone in the line probably wants to see an overview of what it is, and they don't want to see a very detailed demo. So please pay attention. I'm not going to go fast, but it's going to be an overview, so everybody can pay attention and follow along. So again, if you need more information, you want to contact your partner specialist. First thing I'm going to show you is the backing up as an image. This is built by one of our partners, StorageCraft. They do a pretty good job of backing up systems as an image. And so we use this software here to create an image of your servers, whether you want a partition or a disk. You just create a backup job, and after that's done, you will have a full backup, and then after that, you would have incrementals. You can see here I have an example of this, where there's a full and there's an incremental. Now, typically, you would have one full and many incrementals. I've just done multiple demos here. That's why you see multiple chains. You can see here that it has unique file names where you have B002, B003. That's important because each chain needs to be unique with its own file set. So with these images, now that I have them, I can actually use them to recover a system if it fails to the same hardware, different hardware, even virtual environment, because there is a boot recovery disk or ISO that you want to use. To do that, you'll be able to boot into that environment and actually restore your images through the network if you want to, or a USB drive, or external drive. These images, you can also get data out of them granularly by just right-clicking on them. You can see we have mount and quick mount. If I hit quick mount, I get a Windows drive letter, and you can see that here. Now I have access to some of my data from my image, and I can open this up and I can pull out information that I might need in there. Or if I needed to, I'd be able to do a Exchange granular recovery. So right here what I have is I've actually opened up a source. I've actually opened up the EDB file inside one of my images that's mounted as a drive letter. And down here below, I've actually made a live connection to my Exchange server. Now what I'm going to simulate for you here is a recovery. So let's say that user 1 lost this message from user 2, and it's gone. User 1 says, hey John, I need to get that message back. You're like, sure, no problem. You'd open up EGR. You'd have to actually connect to one of your EDB files, as I've done here. Click on user 1, type search, type in some of the criteria that's in the message, maybe who it's from, and I hit find now, and I've actually found the message. And you can see here I can read the message, that's no problem. If I wanted to, I could also export it, possibly to a message file format if that's needed. But most people just want to actually recover it right back to their mailbox. And that's what I just did right there, and this will confirm that. If the message is already there, it's going to say duplicate, message not copied. And there you go, the message is back. So this tool is very powerful in the sense that you can drag and drop any item. So if any of your users did lose something and they needed to get it back, whether they wanted the entire calendar back or the contacts folder, you just drag this over their inbox name and override it. Excuse me. It won't overwrite anything. It'll add what's missing. And same thing for any messages. You can just drag and drop these down there as well to the inbox. So very, very powerful. This is also used for mailbox recovery by dragging this down to the server name. It can also be used for Exchange recovery and migration, just by simply dragging the entire database down here. Any questions on Exchange granular recovery? It is very simple. I mean, it looks very simple, but it is very powerful.
We do have a few other questions. Let's see, that's partner program. We can go ahead and pause for those. Are you going to have another webinar in the near future? My study has has left us, but I do want to answer that question. We actually have one tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, so it's a bit late for most of you, but we do have another one tomorrow. Pelo asks, is the price partner dependent, like silver, bronze, or gold level? Not quite sure I understand the question, but the price does change based on the number of servers and the amount of space purchased.
Yeah, if I can chime in on that. The pricing is very easy, and it's similar to a cell phone bill, if you will, where we determine together what is the best point of entry. And that's based on your customers, how many people that you service have servers, how many do not, and how many just require storage space. So from that, we find the best point of entry for you. And then the program is very easily scalable. So as your business grows, then you grow with us. And we support those efforts through various resources, including personnel here that are designed just to support how do you grow your business. So it's very easy as far as getting into a very meaningful price point.
And Ian has a couple questions. Number one, will there be any marketing collateral available to promote this in the UK? We provide a number of marketing collateral that you're able to customize however you like. I definitely think it pertains to individuals in the UK. And second question is about our pricing, our $41 per month on the website. How would you guys be able to compete with this? Well, number one, it is different product. That product is the file and folder product only, and actually it's priced higher than what you guys can purchase the file and folder product for. That price is approximately 16.7 cents per gig month, and you guys can purchase as low as 11 cents per gig month. Sean has a question. How long would a typical 100 gigabyte Exchange database take to back up using SOS, and would these be incremental?
Well, if you are asking about folder and file on the backup data, and as far as the images, yes, everything is going to be incremental. As far as on the backup of folder and file data, once you have your first full backup done, we're only going to look for the files that have changed or files that have been added. And typically, for a business, what I've seen, most businesses after the data is uploaded, they don't create thousands of documents or thousands of files on a day-to-day basis. So that means you might have maybe 10 files, maybe 20 files, even 100 that might need to go up each night. And that's not very much. So what we're able to do is we're able to actually take a delta of some of those files, let's say that they're large, maybe a big PST file, and that's your concern. And if we were to back up the file the first time, the next time we back it up, we'll back up just the changes to the PST file, which could be, I don't know, 5 megs or 10 megs, and that's a delta. Or if you have, maybe let's say you have 100 new Word documents that either were added or changed. If they're small, yeah, we're going to push them to the cloud real quick, and that could be 10 megs in total, maybe 50 megs, and that's incrementally all that's going up. Now, the same question as far as image-based backup. You're doing a full backup as an image, and then going forward, we recommend only doing incrementals. It's called continuous incrementals. One full backup, incrementals forever, or maybe up to a year. Those files are also small. They could be 200 megabytes. They could be 2 gigs, in a larger size. So you don't have to worry about sending up a bunch of data every night, or even every week or every month, just incrementally.
I have a question from David. Can the Exchange Granular Recovery Tool read from any EDB or just those recovered by SOS?
Any EDB. It is not location specific. So if the software is installed and you have an EDB file, it can talk to that. You can also mount any of your images and then point to the EDB file inside of those as well. However, it doesn't usually like to support the live EDB database, so that's why I prefer as a backup file. However, if you were to take a copy of your EDB file, and it would be able to read that much easier.
Jody has a question. Can the backups run through a proxy server?
Yeah, yes, they can. So in our software on the main page, we do have something called network settings, and I'll log out here so you can see that. And network settings right here is where you can put in your proxy information. So basically IP address, port, username and password to get in there.
Alan has a great question. Are your data warehouse locations located in Europe? do you store data on your own server/data farm?
Yeah, the data center is located in London, and the equipment is ours. We do not we don't rent equipment from our data center companies, so we definitely own it. We operate it.
The data centers are also SSAE 16 certified, which is the highest level of data infrastructure certification that's available for security. And we have 11 data centers actually throughout the world. And to John's point, we do have one located in London.
Sean has a great question. With companies coming to market offering lower prices, how competitive are you to adjust prices if that becomes an issue? I think we consider ourselves a dynamic and competitive company. However, we also consider SOS to be a premium product. SOS offers features that you simply won't find anywhere else. Like I mentioned, unlimited versioning and unlimited file archiving. You won't find that with other programs. Other programs like to limit you and add fees where maybe you just don't really need to pay the fees. It's a feature that you should have, like continuous incrementals and being able to access those incrementals forever. You should just be able to have that. They're your backups. They should always be yours. For reasons such as that, that's just one example, SOS definitely occupies a premium space in the market. And if you're selling SOS, you're selling a product that is high quality and certainly deserves the price that you charge for it. And by the way, you can charge whatever you like and whatever you find competitive for it. We, unlike some of our competitors, don't force you to make a certain margin or limit you to a certain margin. You're welcome to do whatever you like. Sean has another question. Is SOS compatible with VMware?
Yes, absolutely. We don't back up the VMware host, but with the online backup file and folder software, that is not license-based. You're able to install that software client on any Windows machine from XP and later. So if you have any VMware virtual machines that have Windows running on them, you're able to install that application, log in with one username. So, let me give you a better example. You have a customer, they have a VMware host, they have lots of VMs on it, they're all Windows. You're able to use one backup account and install the application on all those VMs and back up the data inside of them with no license issue there. However, you are also able to install the image-based backup software on each of those VMs, but that would be a license per virtual machine. The image-based backup software is more, in regards to Hyper-V, you can have one host there and many virtual machines, and it would only be one license. So Hyper-V is actually preferable by most of our partners these days because they're saving lots of money instead of paying VMware.
Bonga has another question. Is SOS compatible to XAMPP? XAMPP?
I'm not really sure what XAMPP is. If you give us an explanation of that, that'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll follow up with that if you can tell us a little bit more. Derek asks, is there FTP access to accounts to backup web servers?
No, there's not. What we recommend in that question is, usually if you're the web developer, if you own your website, typically what people do is they have some application that allows them to connect to their website and actually make changes. And usually those applications allow you to download a full copy of your website, or people usually have a full copy of their website on their laptop or somewhere at their business. And we recommend using that method where once in a while you might sync the changes to your website and just back it up from a Windows machine.
I love this next question. David asks, in terms of retention, is there a default policy like number of days deleted, data is retained, etc., or can this be customized? Also, does retention count towards quota?
So there is a default policy, and there's only one policy. It's unlimited. So SOS is the only company that actually gives you unlimited version history, and that can be a little scary to some people, thinking it'll cost them lots of money. Well, it doesn't, because what we do is we only charge you for the largest version of a file. It's in the same location, of course. Here's the example. You want to back up your Alex PST file. We back up the first time. Let's say it's 500 megabytes. After a year, you're going to have probably 365 versions of that. And let's say the PST file is now 4 gigabytes in size. you have 365 versions totaling, I don't know how many gigs, maybe 20 or maybe 100. But we're only going to be billing you for the 4 gigs or charging you for 4 gigs of that use space.
Going on top of that, David, this is a very powerful tool, and it's a differentiator between us and many competitive products by not charging for these versions. Also, what it does very well is protects against accidental deletion, which is a very common form of data loss. In many competitive products, if the end user accidentally deletes a file off their desktop set and they don't realize it for 14 or 30 days, many products will then delete that from the cloud. And then truly they're in a data loss scenario. With the SOS product, even if they delete it off their desktop, all they need to do is go back to one of the versions, whichever one they wish, and they can recover it very easily.
Okay, Bonga did get back to us about XStamp. It's a free and open source cross-platform web server package consisting mainly of the Apache HTTP server, MySQL database, and interpreters for scripts when written in PHP and Perl programming languages.
So was the question, did we back that up?
It's compatible.
Well, if you have something running on Windows, we usually can back it up just fine. We are going to use, Windows VSS to back things up. We don't have, we haven't built in support just for that database. Typically, people want to back up open files. That could be, say, Atlas PST. That's a database. We can back that up. No problem while it's open. But because that's built into the VSS technology is files that can back up while they're open. However, there are a lot of databases out there that they can be backed up while they're running. Some of them cannot. And in that case, you might need to create a script that might shut that database down for, I don't know, maybe a minute or so while it's backed up by us, if that's what you need. In regards to the image-based backup software, as far as local backup as an image, when you're using that and it comes across, when it's backing up a disk and it comes across a file like SQL or Exchange or Oracle, well, those applications, those databases have their own VSS writers. And because they do, the image-based backup software will actually use those VSS writers to make sure when that database is backed up, it's backed up transactionally consistent. So if a VSS writer does not exist, we'll still be able to back up while it's open. However, it'll be what we call a crash-consistent backup of the database instead of a transactionally consistent backup because it doesn't have its own VSS writer. One example of this would be QuickBooks. Many think that QuickBooks can be backed up while it's open and running. I, however, disagree softly because over the years in consulting, whenever I had a customer that wanted to back up QuickBooks without using the local QuickBooks backup program, they had issues. And Intuit, on our QuickBooks, would stipulate that you must use the QuickBooks local backup software to make sure you have a good backup. So I hope that answered your question.
Cool, thanks, John. We have a few more questions, but I think we should probably get back into the demo and make sure everybody sees everything they need to see before we answer those.
Okay, so I've logged into the online backup software, and I'm going to go back one step here. You can see how just it's username and password access. So we are using encryption keys. All data is encrypted with 256-bit AES encryption. It's transferred over SSL in packages, and then it's stored at 1024-bit AES encryption. So we like using username and password because that's much easier for people to remember. Most of our customers, we have a lot of them, they're not going to remember where their encryption keys are, and they're not going to be able to go and access it to back up other systems and do quick recoveries. So this method works very, very well for our customers, that will work very well for your customers. It's still very, very secure. The first thing you see when you open this is you see a smart scanner. Many people prefer this because they're able to actually type in the file extensions that they want to use for backup. So instead of you selecting actually which folder files you want to back up, you can just type in the file extensions. We already do have some categories here that already have that, and you can see here the documents category has many file extensions already listed in it. This can save you about the time. That's will help your customers back up very, very quickly. If you don't want that, you can hit Do Not Scan, and you can hit Next, and you'll be able to just back up whatever you want. Now, this software itself is the Online Backup Recovery Manager. It's used to back up your folder and file data and your images to the cloud. So in a test here, let's say I have a folder on my desktop, and I want to back up that folder. And if I have a file on my desktop, I can just click on the name and just click that right there. And also, I want to back up the folder where my image is being stored. I want to just check that off for backup. So now in one place, I'm backing up my folder and file data and my images. And then this is the last screen. So it's basically only 2 pages, which is very nice. And if you're on a server, you might want to check this box here to back up while you're logged off. And you can see here it'll ask for your credentials. And then we have your email address, 1 or 2 email addresses for an email report for you to receive as the backup finishes. Now, this can be an additional report for you to monitor it. Remember, we do have the central monitoring as well. If you wanted hourly backup, we do support that here. You can do it every 4 hours, every 2 hours, whatever you like. I will keep in mind, though, that you want to make sure that your first backup can complete before you choose the frequency. Okay, so that's pretty much it on that. I'm going to hit finish here. We're going to start the backup. And then what I'm going to be able to show you is this is the upload agent. This is going to check all the files in your backup set, make sure they're backed up. And if there's any problems, let's say there's any files that didn't actually back up successfully the last time, it'll make sure they are here. And this is what I said earlier, how we do a streaming backup. We're going to upload about 10 megabytes at a time of large files where we actually encrypt and compress as we're uploading to the cloud. This is how we get that 40% gain. Now, that 40% gain was from our previous software. We were already faster than our competitors because we don't throttle you. We don't throttle anybody. We've seen backups go as fast as 65 megabit. So don't worry. I don't think you should worry as much in comparison to our competitors as far as backup speed, because we are much faster because we don't throttle. And this new method of backing up. So while that's backing up, I want to show you some of the recovery methods. One of the first, my most favorite, is the web login, or what we call the My Account system. You can see here it says Acme. It's just a generic version of our My Account system. This is for your customers to use. They'll have access to this, and they'll be able to share or recover any of their folder files from any of their systems, as you can see I have here below, and they can share or recover up to 500 megabytes. Now, I know that might be, that sounds like we're limiting, but we're limiting because it's a web browser. Recovering files are very, very large. It's kind of difficult for most people to do that. So, and they usually require a special downloader. Example, if you want to download a very large ISO file from Microsoft TechNet, you'd probably use their downloader to do so. Now, the same thing with us. If you want to recover a very, very large file, you just use the Online Backup Recovery Manager. We have 2 recovery methods built in here. We're Store Wizard, and we have Classic View. Pardon me, if your line is not muted, could you please do so? That will include staff and anybody else, please. Okay, so the online restore method here, this would be, well, if you're on the line, could you please mute your phone, because we're getting feedback and the rest of the people on the phone line cannot hear. Can you please mute your line if your line is not already muted? Okay, so the online restore is, one second here.
Unmuted.
We're sorry for the technical issue. We're trying to find the source of the static and mute it so that we can continue.
There we go.
Okay, I think we got it.
Okay, if you guys confirm that you can still hear us, that's very important. We had to mute one of the lines, so someone can just tell us they can still hear us, please. All right, so the Restore Wizard, this is calendar based. This is gonna look at your data and be able to actually give you restore of a folder based on date. So let's say you wanted to restore your images with your folder in it. You go here, you click on a bold date, and you'd be able to look at all your machines backed up and only only recover a folder from that particular machine. Or you could actually, if you want to, restore 2 different folders from 2 different systems simultaneously in the same window. And the other option would be using the classic view. Now, while it's refreshing, the refreshing method there, what that is we actually, allow you to back up lots of systems with one account. So I have never actually, logged into this software before where I've done a refresh and collected all the information from all the other systems. Once I do that, next time is much quicker. So I'm going to let that run, and while it's running, I'm going to show you this. So we're on the website here. We can do recoveries. And what I can do is I can go to any of my systems here, and I can actually just keep drilling into my folders and files you see here. And I do have the share and recover. Like I said before, you can share or recover any folder or file up to 500 megs. And if you need to recover anything larger than 500 megabytes, you just use the client software. And you can install that very quickly on any machine with no activation, no hassle. Once you install it, you can log in and start doing recoveries. You can see here that I do have versioning, so I can also access an earlier version of the file if I need to, and I can recover that right here in the browser. See that? Very simple. I can open it with Word, I can save it, and if I click Share, I get this nice form to fill out the name of the file. I can type an email message, and I click Friend, name, and email. They're going to get an email with a link to then download that folder or file. If it is a folder, it'll be a zip file, but it'll still be a link because attachments probably won't work so well if the files are kind of large. There is reporting in here, so for you or for your customers, you can use this portal to get reporting, and you'll be able to see basically backup history, the date range of backups. Machine backup details is all systems, the total amount of data each system is backing up, last backup date. Recovery and share, there is a search function, and you're able to search by file name and basically get a list of all file names of that file. And then we have My Account tab, View Account, Change Password, and so on. And let's see here. Let's see if this is finished yet. Okay, it's still going. That could take sometimes up to a couple minutes. Sometimes depends how many files you have backed up. And just being that I just said that, we like to say each backup account can usually support millions of files. However, if you want the best performance, we ask that you don't put more than 3 million files in one backup account. An example would be you might have a server, 3 million files. That can have its own backup account by itself. And then just create another backup account for all the rest of the machines. Okay, so a couple of things I want to show you is here's an example of the e-commerce websites that we build for you and host. So we give you basically a landing page for you to link to in your website, and your customers will be able to go to this. They'll be able to get some quick information about the product. They'd be able to go and sign up for it right here, and you'd be able to use PayPal Pro or Authorize
or eWay.
Or eWay, yeah. And so these will actually be integrated into the partner portal itself. We don't get any of the money from this. We set this up for you. The money goes into your bank account. And there's also a web login for your customers. There's a Contact Us page. They can fill that out and maybe contact you. You'll be able to actually see that information in here under what we call support tickets. Okay. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for the e-commerce website. So I've kind of given everybody a good overview. We're giving you images backup. You can use that to recover the same hardware, dissimilar hardware virtual environments. You can mount those images and do granular access. You can also use that to do an exchange granular recovery of message, mailbox, entire databases, even migration. We're giving you online backup folder and file backup of any Windows machines from XP and later. Back up your folder and file data. You can back up your images. That's not license-based on the online backup software, so you can install it on any machine to do backup very quickly. You can quickly install to do a big recovery anywhere you like to. It's not location-specific, so it might have machines across the world. We're also giving you an e-commerce website to help you sell the product and take credit card payments. We're giving you this wonderful part of the dashboard to give you access to all your information and monitoring. And that's kind of the summary. Any questions, concerns, let us know now, or your partner specialist will be able to give you a full demo if you want. They'll be able to give you a free trial to this. They'll be able to explain anything in great detail.
And all of that for just $3.99 a month USD, by the way. We do have some remaining questions that came in during the demo. Sapelo asks, can you recover a deleted file after 1 year? Yes, if you have an active account.
Yeah, we don't.
Backed it up.
Yes, thank you, Shaylin. We don't delete any files from our system. That would mean that we would have more control of your files. That'd be wrong. Only you have control of your files as far as deletion. So we keep everything. We do unlimited version history, so you don't have to worry about taking up too much space because we only charge you for the largest version that you backed up of that file. Like I said before, you back up Outlook for an entire year, and your Outlook at the end of the year is 4 gigs in size. You have 365 versions of that file. We're only going to charge you for the largest version, which is 4 gigs. So with that, only you can delete files.
Jody has a question. Jody had asked earlier about Linux, and this question is follow-up on that. Can a Windows PC be configured to back up a network drive? I have clients where their My Documents folder points to a Linux-based Samba file. Yes, John's giving me a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay. We have a question from Michael. Michael says, by creating all these backups, will this incur more storage charges? As John just said, no. We count your largest file, and your incrementals or your versions on top of that are not counted towards your gigs.
Yeah, I'll repeat this again. So the images backup software, that's different. That's not unlimited version history. You can't have unlimited versions because each file name is unique. You have one full backup and then many incrementals. Incrementals are small. Now that's what we call a chain of images. Now if you feel that chain needs to be refreshed or you want a new one, no problem. You can use the same backup job without removing it, and there's an execute button, and you would just click execute full on the same backup job right here. I have a backup job already scheduled. Execute full. That'll create a new backup job with a different unique file name set. As I have here in the F drive, you can see I have E B002. I have E volume B003. Those are different chains. You see I have a full backup. So full backup starts a new chain. Once you start a new chain, you very easily could go and delete the old chain online with us and locally. So as far as taking up lots of free space, you don't really need to do that unless you want to create lots of more full backups, which are not necessary. One full backup, incrementals forever, maybe up to a year is what we suggest. So, and you're going to want to keep that information usually. If you feel like it's taking up too much free space, you might want to disable shadow copies on your system. You want to make sure you don't have any other VSS-enabled backup program installed, because that'll make your images larger. In regards to the online backup software, if you're backing up the same file set or same backup set, we're only going to charge you for the largest version of each of those files that has versioning on them. So that's saving you lots and lots of money. If you feel it's getting too large, that probably means you actually want to delete some folders, because individual files themselves in the versioning, their versions do not account against your extra storage, only the largest file of that version.
David has a great question. Is the e-commerce site content provided as a package, content and database, ready for upload to our own domain? You do need to select an unused domain.
Actually, we actually are now using subdomains. We have a generic website that's called Managed Online Backup or Managed Offsite Backup, and we actually use subdomains now of that. It's very generic. It might be abcccompany.managedoffsitebackup.net, and we host it there. You would create a link to that site on your website, and the reason why we do that is because we were giving out customized websites with a domain name of your choosing that you picked. And we're doing so many of these packages that our hosting company, HostGator, they're very, very large for these packages. They were telling us they're running out of the IP4 SSL certificates. And with that, it was delaying the delivery of these web packages. And our partners didn't like that. So we did a survey. They said, we don't need this other domain. Just give us a subdomain of yours, and we won't have to wait. So based on that feedback of our partners, many of them in the U.S. were screaming for that. They thought it was better. We listened to our partners, and we actually went and did that. So you actually can pick the subdomain name that you want to use, and it'll go on our generic domain, and your customers won't even know that it's SOS.
Derek asked, is the 11 cents per gigabyte per month, is that for the SOS 360-degree partner program or ServerSafe? To be really, really clear, the SOS 360-degree partner program can either include SOS ServerSafe or it can simply include SOS Online Backup. If you don't have servers to back up, SOS Online Backup is the product for you. However, the SOS 360-degree partner program is the all-encompassing partner program that gives you the website template, it gives you the rebrandable marketing materials, it gives you the sales materials that are available in our Partner Resource Center. Hopefully that answers your question. Sean asked, is the partner dashboard to view multiple clients' backup configurations?
Yes. On the partner dashboard, like I said before, one username can back up multiple systems. If I want to go into centralized management here, we're going to look for a username that's the same, and I think I have one. Okay, we have SOS tester _DW. You can see here we're backing up this machine here, SOS support 06. We're backing up ADS. It's backing up several systems, and you can see here another system here. So this is designed to show you all your machines under one backup account in the monitoring portal. So yes.
Cool. We've reached the end of our questions. So if you have any more, again, you do have the Chief Sales Engineer, Director of Marketing, and Vice President of Sales here in the room for you. I know it's getting later for you guys, but we're happy to stick around for a minute or so more and answer any questions that you've got. We would definitely like to help clarify anything, get you in touch with your partner specialist if you don't have one. If you don't have one, please type in the chat and let us know, and Jeff and I will get you connected.
While waiting for some of those questions, I do have the Online Backup and Recovery Manager up on the screen. I am in Classic View, and we actually refreshed. You can see I have all my systems. This is very, very convenient. I can right-click and recover the entire thing, basically getting a copy of all that data with my file folder structure. So when I recover this entire system here, I will get a folder with a machine name, a folder with the C drive and the F drive, and all the subfolders. I can also delete it, or I can delete just the F drive or the C drive. I can double-click, and I can keep drilling down. I'm sorry, I actually can't double-click. It must be expanded over here. But I can right-click and recover, delete in both windows. And if I want to, I can also have versioning control here. Go to a different version. I can recover that. I can delete. Keep in mind that when you delete a file, and it is a version, there's a baseline attached to that version. And if you delete a version, you actually are deleting part of that file set. So let's say if you have a baseline file and you have 10 versions, and you delete something in the middle. Well, that would actually break the chain there, as you know. So if you are going to delete a version, you want to delete the entire file and back it up again, because you wouldn't want to just delete a version. It doesn't save you any money or any space, because we only charge you for the largest one there. Now back to the wizard, I want to show you that as well. Is on the wizard, it's a little more powerful than the Classic View in the sense that we have these bold dates here. Click next, and I have all my systems. Here you have these check boxes, which is different from the Classic View and online. I actually can recover information from 2 different systems simultaneously, and I'll show you that here. I'm going to recover a file on my desktop here, and then I can go down here to another system, and I can recover another file, and I can all get organization on this. I hit next. If I do default location, that's okay, but you want to uncheck this box if you do so, because this would be you just want some files back. But if you want folders back, or you want files back with their original path, you want to recover to the root of a hard drive because you don't want to have the file names that are actually longer than they were previously. Because when you recover a single file with original path, you're recovering the system name, the drive name, the folder names, all that. So I would actually choose the root of a hard drive so I don't have any file names that become too long when I recover them. So I'll simulate this for you here. I'll recover that to the F drive, and this should take maybe a few seconds, maybe 15, 30 seconds. And this actually is pulling down the files, decrypting them, decompressing them, and it's already done. And you can see here I have two new folders, Lasso Demo and Wagner. We do this so you actually get organization of your files so you know where they were before. And there's my file, just like that. Okay, any questions or concerns? Remember that we are giving away a Kindle. You just have to ask a question to be registered for it. So please make sure that if you haven't asked a question yet, you give us one question, please.
Ian wants to know if Kathy Pierce is his partner manager. No, no, she's not. We will definitely get you in touch with the right person. And anyone else doesn't know who their partner specialist is, please type in the chat, and Jeff and I will find out for you. And we do have one more question from Sean. Can you explain the 500 megabyte limit? Let's say a client backed up a video file that is 1 gigabyte. How will the restore work for this? This is a question.
Okay, I did mention this earlier a couple times. So the My Account System, which is the website where you can share recover files up to 500 megabytes. If you need to recover a folder file larger than 500 megabytes, you just use the Online Backup and Recovery Manager. So that's the application that I have here in front of you. It says Backup and Restore. You can install that very quickly. So if you're in the jam and you know the software is already installed, that's okay. We don't require you to have the software installed or do recoveries from the machine where the data first came from. You can just very quickly install the software on any Windows machine, no matter where it is, and you can log in as that customer and recover any of those files or folders, and the size doesn't matter.
Any more questions? We're happy to hang out for a few more minutes and answer questions. We want to make sure that you guys have all the right information that you need. Jody asks, are there reports on internet usage used by the backups?
Internet usage, no, we don't actually give you internet usage. I mean, you're able to actually see how much data was uploaded each day. So maybe that's what you want actually. I mean, internet usage might just be how much was backed up. So in the My Account System, that's for your customers, we can actually see backup history day by day. So you'd be able to run this report, and you'd be actually able to see the backups for each system day by day. So let me just go over here to May. Sorry about that. And let me just pick this week here from the 16th and click search. There's two reports. One is a summary of all machines, total amount of data each backed up in total, last backup date. But if you want internet usage, I think the answer to your question is right here in front of us is the date range search. This can take a little bit longer to run this report because it has to look at all your machines. But once it's done, it'll show you how much is backed up each day in total for each machine. So I think that's the answer you're looking for.
Derek says his partner specialist is George. He thinks he's been quoted a different price. Please confirm what the product is that you have been quoted on, because that will definitely change your price per gigabyte per month. Sapelo asks, is there a risk for government to do backup in a foreign country? We comply with EU-US safe harbor laws. So I think that probably answers your question. Particularly between the United States and the European Union, there is no risk because the United States and the European Union have an agreement regarding information sharing. Effectively, it doesn't matter. Both countries or unions are completely agnostic about which country you back up in.
And we're also using global standards for encryption and also transfer. We're using ports 80 and port 443 for transfer. Okay, and port 80 is not used for any data. It's only used for information that we might need for transfer or for communication. So all your data is encrypted before it leaves at 256-bit AES encryption. Then they're actually in packages, encrypted packages going over SSL. Now SSL, as far as the encryption level of that, it's 128-bit in the United States. It can change from in different countries, but based on we're using these standards, we haven't heard that we're blocked anywhere. We have people backing up in China, and that they're heavily regulated there. So so you shouldn't be able to be, shouldn't actually be blocked from backup at all. Now, being that your files are encrypted with us, the only way that any government agency would be able to access your data is if you, the customer, were actually to give them the username and password. Now, yes, we do have some recovery methods, but if you have that need where you need extra security, you'd be able to create an ultra-safe account. Now, remember, you have to create these accounts ultra-safe at the beginning of creation for each backup account. You can't do ultra-safe after you created it. So you create an ultra-safe account. Your data is backed up securely and encrypted with us. If some government agency wanted access to that, we wouldn't be able to do anything. We can't even just give them your encryption key. Your encryption keys are actually encrypted themselves. So you, the customer, would have to give them the username and password, and they would still have to use our software application to do the recovery. So if we were to just give them an encryption key, it'd be useless. It wouldn't work because our software does not accept encryption keys by manually putting them in. You must use the username and password, therefore giving you extra security.
Thanks, John. That was a great answer. We don't have any more questions coming in, so we will wrap up. Please get in touch with your partner specialist, and we hope to have you join the program soon. Thank you all very much for your attention and joining us this afternoon. We look forward to having you on board.
Thank you, guys.